Oh, these white conservatives love their BS. A member of Congress referred to FEMA's administrator as a DEI hire solely because she is a woman. Georgia Congressman Andrew Clyde made this comment about Deanne Criswell, who hails from Colorado. All right, well, y'all got it. We should have it. Where is it? All right, y'all. Well, in response to Clyde's remarks, Kyle Clark, a news anchor from Colorado, a local TV station, he laid out, from his perspective, the true meaning of the term DEI hire.
A Republican congressman calling FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell a DEI hire isn't subtle or clever or accurate. It's sexist, and it's deeply, deeply dumb. Criswell, longtime Coloradan, has a ton of experience in emergency management in the public and private sector, decades of service in the Colorado Air National Guard, and she has the public administration degree and the work to clearly qualify her for the role. That's why Republicans and Democrats unanimously confirmed her to lead FEMA. But sexist and racist trolling now passes for political thought these days. You'll hear the slur DEI hire being thrown at anyone under scrutiny who is not a straight white man. Again, it's not subtle, it's not clever, it's not accurate. Every American, regardless of politics, but especially straight white guys, should make it clear. Criticizing somebody's decision-making, that's fair game. But if the best you've got is a shot at their race, sexuality, or gender, then please rephrase your concern.
You know what? I think we're going to run that back.
A Republican congressman calling FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell a DEI hire isn't subtle or clever or accurate. It's sexist, and it's deeply, deeply dumb. Criswell, longtime Coloradan, has a ton of experience in emergency management in the public and private sector, decades of service in the Colorado Air National Guard, and she has the public administration degree and the work to clearly qualify her for the role. That's why Republicans and Democrats unanimously confirmed her to lead FEMA. But sexist and racist trolling now passes for political thought these days. You'll hear the slur DEI hire being thrown at anyone under scrutiny who is not a straight white man. Again, it's not subtle, it's not clever, it's not accurate. Every American, regardless of politics, but especially straight white guys, should make it clear. Criticizing somebody's decision-making, that's fair game. But if the best you've got is a shot at their race, sexuality, or gender, then please rephrase your concern.
Boom. Gavin, the reality is more straight white men should, or hell, more white men, period, should be doing this. And guess what? So should more white women. They should also be saying the same thing because they were talking about a white woman. But the reality is, too many white folks in this country want to remain silent. And when it comes to fighting things like these slurs, DEI hire, who typically are the folks who are fighting that? Black people. And you know what? I'll just say it. A bunch of Latinos are silent. A bunch of Asian folks are silent. And so guess what? They're also talking about y'all. Kevin?
Yes, Roland. We know white women as well have been the biggest beneficiaries of affirmative action, but to your point, have remained largely silent in pushing back against the attacks on affirmative action, which is now illegal in college admissions processes, thanks to the Supreme Court. Well, let's talk about Andrew Clyde for a second, who was the congressman who called Deanne Criswell a DEI hire. He's an ineffective legislator. He voted against the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act. It still passed. He voted against the largest expansion of veterans' health care benefits. Still passed. He tried to get the AR-15 designated as a national gun of the U.S. He failed at that too. And of course, he failed to put forth a coherent argument as to why Deanne Criswell is a DEI hire. As the news host there pointed out, she's a military veteran. She served as the commissioner of the New York City Emergency Management. And of course, she was unanimously confirmed by the Senate. That includes every single Republican senator. So I want to turn this back around on Republicans. They want to say that DEI means didn't earn it. Well, I want to know how Pete Hegseth, a news host, a Fox News cable news host with no management experience and who's been accused of some deeply disturbing criminal behavior, earned the right to serve as Secretary of Defense to head up the largest fighting force in the world. I want to know how RFK Jr., who has no healthcare background whatsoever and is advocating for policies that will lead to Americans literally dying, earned the right to serve as the Secretary of Health and Human Services.
Well, you nailed it. And again, if you want to understand in terms of how these people are operating, it was on one of these nonsensical right-wing networks. And this is what Andrew Clyde had to say. Listen.
And often in these situations, it's very strategic. It's not necessarily about always putting more people on that. We have to make sure that it's safe. And, you can only add so much aircraft in the airspace.
Congressman, as I said in my preamble, government isn't supposed to be welfare for the stupid. Why should the people of Georgia in your district and 48 other states be forced to pay when Democrat policies predictably fail as they have in California?
Well, great to be with you, Chris. And by the way, fantastic monologue. I tell you, what that DEI hire said was just incredibly stupid. You just can't do that. When the federal government offers you resources like that, helicopters and Marines on the ground, then you would take that. That just shows an incredible lack of leadership, the inability.
But this is simply what they do. Robert?
I think it's important for us to take a stock of what's happened over the last couple of years of American media and politics. We often find ourselves in this position of arguing what is right, but not realizing that we are arguing in an alternate universe from the one in which these people exist. And I want to put yourself in the mindset of one of these extreme right-wing MAGAs. If the only news you consume is right-wing news, if the only social media you see is right-wing social media, if the only people you hang out with are right-wing people, then us fact-checking and pointing out their hypocrisy does not matter. We have to get into this place of fighting fire with fire. When Donald Trump lost the 2020 election, he announced his re-election that night and started running that night. When he started filing these lawsuits, knowing good and damn well he lost the election, he never varied from that point. He never backed down. And he went through and created a coalition around the country that was between tech billionaires, far right-wing racists, and foreign superpowers in order to suppress 6 million votes in order for him to win this election. For Democrats, we can either spend the next 4 years talking about all the times that these far-right extreme MAGAs are lying, or we can put together the groundwork that's needed to win. If Democrats had listened to black voters in 2020 when we said we needed the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, and we need to really put teeth in here to stop them from stealing elections, we would have won in 2024. 26 states passed voter suppression laws, including Senate Bill 202 right here in Georgia, to make it harder for people to vote. As a result, we saw 6 million fewer Democrats voting in the 2024 election versus 2020. If Kamala Harris had gotten those same votes that Joe Biden did, she would have beat Donald Trump by 4 million votes yet and still, when we talk about this MAGA mandate. So when these people are out here yapping their gums about DEI hires and black folks and didn't earn it, etc., we can either argue back and forth till we're blue in the face, which leads us to a standstill, or we can just say, yeah, got you, and then get in there and organize, and get in there and start the fights, get in there on the state and local level, and start organizing these people to move together and start planning for 2022. The people running for the Democratic nomination in 2024 or 2028, you're already behind the 8 ball. People planning on announcing for Congress in 2026, you're behind the 8 ball. The fight started on November the 5th. Either we can get into that fight, or we can continue to be left behind, running behind people who clearly don't got no damn sense, or we can listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene and her Jewish space lasers or the cloud seeding to put out the fires. You're not going to logic with these people. You're not going to shame these people. You're dealing with a generation without shame, and we have to fight the fight that's needed to win.
See, the thing that people also don't seem to understand, and this is where...
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. And right now, we're accepting investors in our $17 million round to revolutionize the future of social media. Today, for just $399, you can own 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $6.65 a share. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. While the big platforms have grown too massive and disconnected from their users, Fanbase is building a platform where creators and users truly come first. We've already raised $4.8 million from everyday investors who believe in this vision, and now you can join them. This is your chance to invest in a social media tech company with over 1 million users that is disrupting media by allowing anyone to reach all of their following and monetize their content from day one. The market is changing, big platforms are failing to serve their users, and Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now. Invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the future of social media.